Last time on Square Roots, Presto had some fun with Daedra, Grunk became the Prince of Thieves, and Rimjob went to the dogs. But the time for side questing is over as we face Alduin, the World Eater. Strap in for Skyrim Part 6, The Final Rimming!
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by John Odoving Brandon.
Hello, I am John Odoving Brandon at your service. I'm a dragon.
It's like middle manager Odoving. And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
Matt is having sick times.
Matt's sick with I didn't play the game Itis.
Oh, jeez. Well, yeah, so we are playing Sky... Wait, what do we do here? Did I say it?
No, you didn't say it.
I didn't?
This is what happens when we don't heckle you.
I know. Okay, well, we're a podcast that plays and talks about your favorite classic RPGs, like Skyrim.
And
The Elder Scrolls 5.
How do we do that, Jim?
One chunker at a time.
Thank you.
Its graphics are too good to be classic, right?
What is that supposed to mean? You think classic has to be crapic?
No, but it just feels like a modern game. Well, sometimes. Sometimes it really doesn't.
I think that video games progress so quickly technologically that they become classics quicker than, say, a film or a book would. Skyrim's only 10 years old, which is just barely old enough for someone who wasn't born when it came out to play it. But video game world, it moves fast. Gotta keep up. We're not dealing with a thick back catalog here like film, which has over a century now under its belt.
Yeah, that's why
Video games?
you can really only
What do we got?
say that movies that are hitting like a quarter century are classics. Like right now, I feel comfortable saying Spice World, now that it's almost 25 years old, is a classic film.
Mm-hmm.
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 I can see that.
It changed the landscape of cinema.
It really did.
I still think about the like when they would travel, the little bus that
Yeah.
would move across the map. I still think
Or
about
that
sometimes.
special effects sequence where it's jumping over the London Bridge or whatever, Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
And it's just a model bus, like on a
Yeah.
popsicle stick. Yeah, but yeah, of course it's a classic RPG, and no one's here to tell us otherwise because he's sick.
Oh, hey, I just thought of something.
Yeah, what do you think
Should
of?
we know what our next game is going to be?
Oh,
we should probably
yeah.
announce that, right?
That's a great idea. The next game we play on Square Roots is going to be Tales of Vesperia.
What?
Yeah, I've never played a Tales game before.
Neither have I.
Are you ready for some DuckTales?
DuckTales.
I don't know.
What?
Is that a Tales game? I'm not making good jokes today. It's not a good joke. I'm sorry.
That's a pretty good joke.
No, it really wasn't. But I appreciate the what's the word? Patronizing? No.
Support?
No.
Yeah, support. I appreciate the
The
support.
encouragement. It was more of a reference than a joke, but if you look at things like the Scary Movie franchise, I mean that.
Or Family Guy.
Oh,
they
John made a scary movie level
Or
joke. Shame.
I could do it as a t-shirt. It could be a t-shirt level joke.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity out there for reference jokes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Tales of Vesperia. Tales is the winner of our Patreon vote.
Jim, I want to apologize for telling you to suck it when it looked like the game you chose might not win.
When I saw you say that, I was like, Whoa! I didn't know like Vanessa had a real dog in this fight. I mean, I know you have a pick in there, but I didn't realize you were being so competitive about it.
I think I'm just bitter because I think my pick was the least voted for.
Oh, but mine, but barely least than mine.
The barely least.
Barely least.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tails did just barely edge out Ni no Kuni, which was kind of the early favorite. But that's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
These Patreon votes are roller coasters. Gotta be ready for anything.
And you can save that progress for whenever we actually play Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, I think like I tried to get a jump start on the game I thought was going to win and put like 11, 12 hours into it. And now I'll just wait.
Mm-hmm. And my razzing of Jim was really just a reflection on the futility of trying to plan for the future in today's contemporary world.
You know, that reminds me of
Insightful.
the name of the film that I'm going to be releasing through Heavenly Pictures called God Laughs. Because, you know, when you make plans, God laughs. And that's what that film's really about like this secular people trying to make plans and then dying of cancer because they didn't pray enough. I don't know. I assume that's what Christian movies are about.
That's most of them, I think. Somebody gets cancer.
Yeah. Someone, usually the non-believer.
Yeah, and then they're like, why, God? And you're like, God doesn't give cancer, but if he did, it would probably be to you non-believers. So just think about it.
And if a Christian does get cancer in a Christian movie, they're usually like weirdly grateful for it. Like, God works in mysterious ways. I guess I just have cancer.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, now that we're done trashing people's religions, Vanessa.
Yeah.
How did you level up?
Oh.
Or is there any other things you want to talk about before?
Let me think. Is there any gaming news I want to talk about?
Gaming news.
Gaming news.
Wasn't there a lot of gaming news? Like, wait a minute. Yeah, Jim, there's one thing we have to talk about.
What?
The last key for Smash Brothers.
Oh, sure. Yeah, Sora's going to be in Smash Brothers.
Did you watch that
That's
trailer
exciting.
and then go like, oh, gasping?
I do think it's cool, but like I've never played a Smash, I don't think.
Oh, really? Oh, they're fun.
Yeah.
I really like them.
I watched
But,
the
you know.
Nintendo Direct. Why are you going to Jim with this stuff? I'm the
Because
gaming
he's
journalist.
the king. You're
Because I like Kingdom
because
Hearts.
he likes Kingdom
I
Hearts.
like Kingdom Hearts.
You do?
Kinda.
Well, what did you think of this Nintendo Direct?
Oh, I don't care.
You watched the whole thing.
I didn't say I watched the whole thing.
Oh.
Did you see the Sora part?
Yeah.
Cool.
And were you like, oh my, I thought it was a great trailer. And what a really nice way to end, because I know it was a lot of licensing work to make these two huge, massively successful corporations
Yeah,
synergize
thanks
like
billion-dollar
that.
corportions for taking the time to sit down and figure that
Yeah,
out.
it's really nice when
Or three
billion-dollar
huge, sorry.
corporations come together.
Yeah.
And
I will
everyone
say that
is super psyched.
Yeah, I noticed that there isn't a lot of Disney content. It's mostly they have Sora, they
Yeah.
have some different backgrounds, but you will not see a Donald tail feather nor a Goofy whisker or
But
any
you will
other
see
Yeah.
a
Disney
Mickey-shaped dingle dangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently there were there's something that had to do with the Keyblade that had like a reference to like Sora or to Donald, Goofy, and Mickey on it, and they removed all of it. So now it's just, I don't know, what is it like? It's the Smash symbol. It's the new keychain.
Well, I thought you saw, like in the opening, I thought you saw the Mickey Mouse head keychain.
Yeah, but that's not a reference to Donald and Goofy.
That's
Mickey
true.
Mouse.
Yeah.
You definitely do see Mickey Mouse's, the shape there. For sure.
Oh, I thought they changed it to the Smash symbol.
In the trailer you saw, that was the only Mickey Mouse shaped thing, was that little dingle dangle.
Yeah, his little dingle dangle. Sora's little
Are you
dingle
excited for
dangle
that, John?
is shaped like Mickey Mouse, so that's canon.
Well, after you made me play Kingdom Hearts 2, I kind of like the series now. So, yeah. I don't know, I do. I really liked it. Was like peak Nomura nonsense, and I got into it. I think I
You should
liked
try
how...
Birth by Sleep. It's kind of the best one.
Well, I will.
Will you?
Well, I'm sure for
Nah.
the show someday.
Yeah.
I'm not rushing out to do it. But yeah, Sora, I think Sora's a great character. I like seeing people this happy. I think he fits in with the cartoony aesthetics. And anything to get closer to my dream goal of a date with what's his face?
Sora?
The guy who plays Sora. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Haley
Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah.
I am excited to see Sora kick Mario's ass. Like, just really
Wow.
beat the shit out of him with his Keyblade.
You could also watch him beat the crap out of Bayonetta,
I'm less excited about that.
or
Why?
the dog from Duck Hunt.
That's pretty
Oh yeah,
cool.
did you see that picture of Sora with the dog and the duck from Duck Hunt saying "You together at last"?
Yeah.
It's great.
That's funny.
All right, so Vanessa, for real this time, how
Yeah.
do you level up?
It's spooky season. It is October, and so I watched 3 spooky properties. I watched Squid Game, I watched Midnight Mass, and I watched Muppet Haunted Mansion.
Oh, I want to see that
Ooh.
Muppet Haunted Mansion. Is it good?
It was much better than I expected it to be. It had a lot of
Well, that's
sort of
good.
old style Muppet humor. It had cute, good songs. It was appropriately spooky. I don't like it when stuff isn't spooky and it ought to be spooky. You know what I mean? So it did have some spooks, and it had goofs, and I enjoyed it. Squid Game, I also enjoyed. I thought it kind of came apart at the end a little bit.
I think so too. The last episode, it felt like it took all the air out of the
Yeah,
rest of the series.
the last episode really just felt like a setup for season 2, and
Which is like so weird.
Yeah, it doesn't really make
It ended like
sense.
the end of a Liam Neeson movie.
I know.
kind of. It's like,
It's like, no. Well, I don't want to get into it at all because I don't want to provide any spoilers for it. And Midnight Mass, I also enjoyed. I also felt like it came apart a little bit.
How is my performance as the priest? I can't.
Oh,
Jim, you
yes,
do
that's right. I have to do my repentance. I have to say,
my
5
brother's tall.
Yeah. I gotta.
You're Ray Romano. Is that your Ray Romano?
Yeah, that's my Ray Romano.
You sound like a monster.
People find me attractive now.
I was like, is Sean doing a Muppet? Or
Or is
It's
he
my
just trying to
perfectly
be
accurate Ray
the guy who
Romano.
played the priest? Yeah. No, I last time I talked about Midnight Mass, I hadn't seen it. I said that I had heard the priest was hot. Jim showed me a picture of him. I did not feel in that picture that the priest was hot, and I said so, and mea culpa, I was wrong. The priest is hot. So you heard it here first. Hamish Linklater can get it. That is all.
All right.
What do you think of the show, though?
I liked it.
Oh, good.
I thought it was good. I thought it was I don't want to talk that much about it because I think it's kind of fun going in not knowing anything.
Mhm.
I will say, and Jim can back me up on this because I told him live as it happened. Both Squid Game and Midnight Mass have some kind of little twist, which I called before it was revealed, and I was super proud of myself.
You did get. So I will say that you got the Squid Game twist, which is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You got the first Midnight Mass twist.
Yes.
But you didn't get
Twist?
the second one.
No, I did not. That I didn't see coming at all.
That absolutely floored me when that happened.
It was, yeah, and then they sort of they do it, and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming. And then,
yeah.
more happens in relation to that, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
it was great.
No one told me how to twist. I am a sucker for a good twist. So maybe I will
Mhm.
watch that show. And it has Kate Siegel.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, it's enjoyable. It's like a very American Gothic kind of story. I know people who are religious felt very impacted by it. I didn't have that same sort of personal connection to it, but I still enjoyed it. I will say the one thing I didn't enjoy about it is it has a lot of character monologues, which seems kind of common for Netflix shows. Like, Bly Manor does the same thing.
It's the same writer, actually. Bly Manor and yeah,
Wasn't
Mike
Rahul
Flanagan.
Kohli in that as well?
Yes, he played the cook.
Okay.
So it wasn't just a coincidence that I thought, this is really similar.
No, it is definitely the same guy. These and the I think the monologues in Bly Manor were better generally. Like each character got one in one episode, and that was fine. That was enough.
Yeah.
This one, like, you have characters trading 3-4 minute long monologues in a scene together, and it's just like makes those scenes feel just so long.
And I also didn't feel like enough characters had their own unique voices to make it seem like it wasn't the same writer, if that makes sense.
Right. It definitely felt like just Mike Flanagan putting his thoughts on the page.
But that is not to discourage you from watching it, just something I noticed about it that definitely wouldn't have made it past the cut on a network show. And I think in a lot of ways it's good to have more freedom in these streaming services, but sometimes an editor does do a good job. That's how I leveled up, Jim.
Hey, what did I do?
You went to the fair, you told me.
Well, I was going to say that last.
All right.
But I also, man, I had something and then I just lost it.
I really want to hear about that fair.
I replayed Alan Wake Remastered.
Which,
does he go to a fair? He does go to, well, there is kind of a fair.
He goes to Deerfest.
Yeah, there's Deerfest.
But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was very much improved, and the game looks great at 60 frames per second. And the controls are a lot better. The dodging actually works. Yeah, I thought it was fun to play, if not a little bit repetitive.
Because you've played it many times before.
Yeah, and the game is the mechanics are established at the beginning, and they don't change. Like, you shine a flashlight on things until they pop, and then you shoot them a couple times.
Yeah,
and that's every enemy in the game.
That's
Control.
Said last time.
Control does have a lot more a variety to it compared to Alan Wake in how it plays, and Quantum Break. Quantum Break's kind of between the two. Yeah,
that's very true. I like Quantum Break. I think Quantum Break's powers are a lot the most fun of any of the games. But like Vanessa said, I went to a real fair. I went to the Texas State Fair today.
And that's the one with the big man outside.
That's the one with the big man, Big Tex, outside. He waves at you and shouts things about, trucks and turkey legs.
I didn't know he shouted things.
Yeah, there's a guy that does a voice, and every, couple of minutes, he'll shout in the loudest voice you've ever heard about funnel cake and turkey legs and barbecue, and it's pretty wild.
That's kind of intimidating. Does he do crowd work? Is he like, hey, you in the cowboy hat, welcome to the fair?
I don't think so, but that would be even more terrifying, to be singled out in a crowd by the giant cowboy.
He's just shouting about turkey legs and the pig races and things, and then he's like, you in the yellow shirt, you're gonna die here.
Oh no.
I know what you did.
Hey, maybe, I think that we could get Netflix to option our fair that turns horror, spooky fair movie. Let's TM Square Roots podcast. We're making
Spooky Fair has definitely never been done before.
Yeah.
It's never been a spooky carnival.
No,
yeah.
Spooky Fair is my favorite kind of spooky because I love a fair and I love a spooky. And when they come together, what could be better?
The fair was cool. I did take a great photo of like an airbrush Nicolas Cage on the side of a ride that I went on. And it is one of the worst renditions of Nicolas Cage you've ever seen. And I rode a bunch of spinny, twirly, go upside down rides.
Oh,
and, after the third one in a row, I had to say no because my tummy hurt.
Mm-hmm. I've had that experience. I like a roller coaster, but the older you get, the more limited your endurance is for that kind of thing.
So I felt like Jalen and I got some catharsis at the fair because like 3 years ago, like after I had just gotten my own place, I took her to the fair. And she's like, yes, I'm old enough to ride this like spinny ride that I want to do. And so we got in it and she was so terrified. She cried the whole time. It was so awful. And then we went back on the ride this year and we both loved it. And
nice.
she said she was glad she got over it and decided to ride it again. It was great.
Yeah, I'm proud of her.
Yeah,
Good
it was fun.
Job, Jay. Did you watch the pig races?
I did not watch any pig races. I didn't want to go like inside of any enclosed spaces. You know what I mean?
Sense.
Not a lot of mask wearing happening there. And those buildings are very old. Not a lot of air going in and out of there. So I figured that's probably best.
That's wise. The time has come for all of us to once again evaluate our level of comfort.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, that's how I leveled up. I did finally watch Train to Busan, which I only wanted to, I was reminded that I hadn't seen it when I finished Squid Game, and the lead from Train to Busan is the slappy guy from Squid Game.
Slappy guy who I need to come to my house and slap me. And
the most handsome slapping man you've ever seen.
Johnny, it's a problem. And I watched this movie, TV show, Squid Game, and I'm like, am I the only one who is experiencing this issue after watching it? And so I Googled Squid Game slapping guy, and one of the first results is, so you watch Squid Game and now you want Gong Yu to come to your house and slap you. What do you do?
And he's in like one scene at the beginning. But like he makes such an impression because one, he's so impossibly handsome, and two, he's just continuously slapping the main character.
It's fantastic. In a consensual way, might I add.
Yeah. And yeah, he's the lead in Train to Busan, which is like, I don't usually go in for the zombie movies. I think they're boring and overdone, but man, this one was great. I loved it. So yeah, Train to Busan, definite recommend as well. John, how did you level up?
Now I'm just worried. Vanessa, as long as you only want him to come to your house to slap you because you enjoy it and not because you think you deserve it.
No, I don't. Well, I mean, I don't want to put out there in the universe that I don't deserve Gong Yu to come to my house and slap me because I want him to come
to your house
and slap me.
Finish that statement.
You know what, Johnny? It's complicated. Being a woman is a complicated thing, and I don't have to explain it on this show.
It's true, and I don't want anyone to feel shame for their fantasies, but I feel
didn't
like
say
that
it was
you
a
can
fantasy.
have
Let's
a
not
healthy
make
relationship
it more
with
than
them.
it is. All I'm saying is I want him to come to my house and slap me. I want a lot of things. It doesn't mean it's a fantasy.
Well, we'll get Kinky Sam Elliott over sometime to sort of talk about the how to make unhealthy fantasies healthy, and how to approach them in a healthy way.
Okay.
How's that sound?
All right. Sam Elliott can come and have the talk with me.
Yeah. Well, he's busy today. I mean, it's Canadian Thanksgiving, but...
Oh, my God! No,
Happy
wait.
Canadian
No,
Thanksgiving,
it's not.
John.
That's tomorrow.
Thought it
No,
was tomorrow.
the Sunday.
It's the 10th, right?
The Sunday's the day. What are
I
you
thought it
talking
was
about?
Monday.
Well, you get Monday off, but it's Sunday's the day that people have the dinners.
That's cool.
At least where I'm from.
Well, I feel so bad because I didn't wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Canadian Thanksgiving.
Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, Johnny. I think it's
Not
really...
to confuse it with the real.
Yeah, not to
Exactly.
confuse it with real Thanksgiving. I think it's really cute how Canadians are like, hey, let's do that thing they do in America. It'll be funny.
And we'll do it before
We'll
them.
do it before them.
I mean, we have roads and schools too, and we do call them Canadian roads and Canadian schools.
Yeah.
So.
Mhm. Just like Canadian bacon.
Yeah, exactly. Although that is an atrocity. I am here to firmly state Canadian bacon is chewy and bad.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't disagree, but wow.
yeah.
I was watching a YouTube video of some gentlemen in France, and they were going to Earl of Sandwich to get a sandwich, and they said they have all the sandwiches except for the French dip, which is our favorite. And I think it's because the French were offended by it.
Yeah, you know, just thinking about how that sandwich is assembled, it doesn't seem very French.
No,
I gotta
I
admit.
don't imagine it has anything to do with France, actually.
Except for the
Just
bread.
like Thanksgiving has nothing to do with Canada.
Right, exactly. So, what did I do this week? I did a few things, actually. Some more boring than others, so I won't go too deep into the boring stuff. I started replaying Breath of the Wild. I thought that would be fun to talk about with Matt, but Matt's got an upset tummy. His little tum-tum, you know, his little
Matt's
hoodie.
going to be so mad because he never said anything about his stomach being upset.
Aw.
And that's probably definitely what it is.
Well, that's because he didn't want to tell us how long he was on the bathroom pooping.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
fact that he didn't tell us, like, that's a pretty dead giveaway.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
It's
we
his
did
stomach,
ask,
his butt.
we were like,
Yeah.
sick how? And he's like, I don't want to get out of my bed except to go to the bathroom. And we're like, yeah. We got it.
Yeah. I don't think he said the bathroom part.
Yeah,
but
he did.
Oh, did he? Did he really?
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Okay.
like, hey guys.
Oh, right. Then
Yeah,
he did say
yeah.
that.
He's like, I've been on the toilet 10 out of the last 12 hours.
Mhm.
And,
His AOL status is Matthew Go Potty.
yeah.
So.
It's like, I just did an absolute paint job. and-
Click Blam. Poor Matt.
Yeah. And then at one point, he just messaged us, Amazon Prime delivers squatty potties in 24 hours, which I thought was good information.
Oh, poor guy. So what I have done is I've played quite a bit of Breath of the Wild. I restarted because I don't know, I just got myself into a point where I didn't know what to do. And I think that playing Bloodborne and Dark Souls has got me a lot better at this game because it has a lot of Bloodborne and Dark Souls to the combat. And I think I'm not getting killed all the time. Like when I first played the game, I don't know, I just went everywhere that had those guardians that shoot you with lasers. Have any of you? I know Vanessa's watched tons of people play it.
Yeah, I watched a lot of it.
A lot of guardians shooting you with lasers. And there's a big daddy King Hyrule guy who does like give you tutorials at the beginning of the game, who has maybe the worst voice actor I've heard in a big budget game in a long time.
Wow.
He sounds like a 17-year-old, like reading for King Richard or something. Trying to do an English accent, even though he's never been to England or heard an English person talk. I'm King of Hyrule. It's very, very bad, but he's quite attractive. So there's that. I also got Drive Club for the PS4, even if that's somewhat hamstrung now by not all the online stuff's broken for it because they turned off the servers. But that game is really, really pretty and sort of an interesting look at how good graphics can get on the PS4. Like it looks incredible for a 2014 game. And I like driving games, and I heard it was good, so I went and fished out a copy from the ether. You can't buy it online anymore, but there are still discs, and they still sort of work, except that you can't access some online content and some cars, because it's like, connect to the server to drive this car, and then servers are dead. So
It's so
boo.
sad when the game server goes dead.
Especially for ones where, like, certain cars are tied to connecting online to unlock. It's like, oh, we just have to check in with the little Drive Club store. Oh. Anyway, it's still good and really, really, really pretty. And I like looking at games and stuff they do with graphics. I've also, speaking of games and graphics, I have played a bit of The Avengers, the off-brand Kirkland signature Avengers for the Xbox and PlayStation.
It is really funny because the MCU is so prominent to then see these other portrayals of these characters. Like in comics, I don't think you really think about it because that's a totally different medium. But to have these, 3D rendered people walking around who look like people cosplaying as the Avengers.
Yeah.
And the graphics are so good in this. Like, all this motion capture. It's like, it's the people that did those Tomb Raider games, right? So the graphics are amazing.
Those games are great.
But yeah, it's very weird seeing these kind of off-brand versions of the different celebrities. Although I think the voice actors, like the guy who plays Nathan Drake in Uncharted does Tony Stark, and he's real good. Because, of course, it's Nathan Drake. And I like, although it's weird that Bruce Banner looks like John Hamm. He's definitely got a real hamminess to his face.
John Hamm seems too masculine to play Bruce Banner, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he definitely has like a bro look to him, not like a nerdy,
like too
nerd.
square jawed.
Yeah, but Ruffalo is square jawed as well. He just really plays it down.
Yeah, he does. He works through posture, like when he does Bruce Banner.
He's a good actor.
Yeah,
he's got
the like Black Widow is fine. I mean, it's all fine, and I think that like Thor comes away as the breakout really good character, and I really, really like the sort of young Lara Croft style girl. The audience insert character and that actress and the motion capture and stuff is so good with her, and the writing's really good. I mean, it's a little bit like, what if you got to hang out with the Avengers, teenage nerd?
Oh, wait,
you can't kiss him because you're a teenage girl.
It's so irritating.
All you want to do is kiss all the Avengers.
All I want to do is kiss all the Avengers, and they won't make me a game where I can. I don't understand it.
It seems like it's going towards like a X-Men style mutagen plot line, but then sort of swerves into, they start calling them Inhumans instead of mutants. So I don't know.
Yeah, that was all on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show.
Oh, well, I only watched the first season, and
right?
it was so bad that I did
so
not
bad.
watch the later ones.
And then it got a little bit better. Your level up reminded me that I also watched Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Weren't you sad that the Russian guy's suit wasn't tighter too?
I think it was really tight, Johnny. He could barely fit into it.
Well, yeah, that's why I was expecting it to be skin tight. When he was putting it on, he was having such trouble, just struggling to get all that beef into that tight leather suit. And then cut to, it's just baggy on him. I was like, fuck this.
It did look baggy, didn't
it?
Like,
they were
there were a
cowards.
lot of fat jokes directed at David Harbour, and then he gets in this suit, and it's like flapping around.
Jim, they're cowards.
They are cowards.
That's all I have to say about that costume choice. This Avengers game is like a fine Marvel movie so far. I think it's not great, but it's not bad, and it's by a competent team. I haven't touched any of the multiplayer stuff. It's just still in the opening missions, but it's kind of neat. If you like those Spider-Man games, it's a lot like those.
Okay.
I don't want to play as Spider-Man. I don't want to play as Tony Stark, and I don't want to play as Captain America. I want to play as my Mary Sue self-insert character who smooches them all.
You'll have to write some fan fiction, just like the main character of Marvel's The Avengers.
Whoa!
She's just like you.
Wow!
All right, friends. And with that, we bring our level up to a close. Thank you for listening to this portion of Square Roots. And now, Act 2, the quest log. I know I just started getting more Ira Glassy as it went.
Mm-hmm. I kind of liked it, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I found it soothing.
Today on Square Roots, we have Jim Banks and Vanessa talking about their experiences finishing the last few hours of Bethesda's Skyrim.
Ira would start it with, like, a traveler crosses the border at the wrong time and gets swept up in a geopolitical situation far outside anything they've ever experienced. But it turns out that this traveler isn't all they seem to be when the power of their Thuum surprises an entire village. This week on This American Life, The Dragonborn, a story in 3 acts. Part 1, Son of a Dragon. Part 2, What's with Nords? And Part 3, Eating the World. On This American Life.
Now for Part 1, Son of a Dragon, we're going to interview Forsworn as he tells us why imperial medicines are not for him and that he wants all lizard people out of the country. Oh, the United States and how it dominates my political thoughts, even though I don't even go there.
The only reason you don't go here is because you can't. You freaking love it here.
I do, Vanessa. That's the worst part. And I hate that I love it. I hate it. What's wrong with me? Why can't I like Canada?
I like Canada. We can swapsies.
Well, no, we can't. There's no swapsies. It's not a official process.
It should be. Immigration
I can't
should
pretend
just
to be
swapsies.
you, and you can't pretend to be me. You're far too tall, for instance.
That's true.
Although I do like to claim I'm tall on Twitter, because who's going to know?
Nobody knows. And, yeah, that's why people on Twitter do believe that you are 6 feet tall.
6'5".
When in reality...
6'5".
Oh, yeah, 6'5" on Twitter, 6'2" in reality.
Yeah. Those 3 inches make all the difference.
They can. Let me tell you.
Oh! So, Skyrim, Part 6, the quest log. A resolution to war. What does that mean?
Well, I
Yeah, what
wanted
is
to
that?
talk about this before we got into the main quest because, I don't know, it feels like end with the end, right? So if there's something I want to talk about before the end, better do it now. I decided to put an end to the Civil War. I don't know if you remember, but these Stormcloaks were, causing a whole bunch of trouble and not respecting the valid rule of the Empire over Skyrim. So I did go and join the Imperial Army and do all of those quests. It's mostly a series of taking over forts. It's like, hey, go to this place and take over a fort. Go to this place and take over another fort. There are 2 pretty significant battles. One is in Whiterun. Where
The Battle of Whiterun.
The Battle of Whiterun, where the Stormcloaks attack. I thought it was really funny. I'm sent as an Imperial to go get the Jarl of Whiterun to become a Imperial himself. And whereas before he becomes one, he's really, diplomatic and both sides have interesting points. Once he actually becomes an Imperial, he's like, I hate Ulfric. I hate the Stormcloaks. They're bullshit. I love the Empire. I've always loved the Empire. And let me enumerate the ways in which Ulfric is bullshit.
Do you think that he has a financial consideration to which he realizes he must aggressively toe the party line?
Absolutely, I do. Because Ulfric is threatening to the sovereignty of his city. And, he doesn't want to pay those Stormcloak taxes. I apologize for tripping over my tongue. I burnt my tongue. No, I didn't. I bit my tongue last night.
Oh,
it was fine.
I'm glad you didn't burnt it.
I bit it. I didn't think it was an issue. And then I had some spicy tuna cakes for dinner tonight. And that inflamed the little wound on my tongue.
Jim, can you change Vanessa's nickname to Spicy Tuna Cakes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I got this big fat tongue from my spicy tuna cakes.
I also forgot to mention during my level up, there is a dog here because my roommates are having friend with dog over. And this dog is very chill and very cute and very like a big, cute older lady dog who does not want to rush at the cat, although we're keeping them separate. But the dog did manage to get by the barrier and poke her giant head into the door. And it was very adorable. It's like, oh, hey there, buddy, you should be here. And then the first thing immediately that the dog did was just put her head into my cat's food bowl. And this brought I didn't know where Porky was because she's been kind of hiding a lot because there's a dog in the house. But as soon as that dog put its head into her food bowl, she came out and she meowed in such a bone-chilling way I've never heard. Well, actually, heard her do once or twice before, and it sounded like she said, "Get out!" And it was terrifying. Like, I clearly heard 2 words, "get out." My cat can talk. I'm freaked out. And that is my cat story.
It's a great spooky story for October.
Are there any ghosts in Whiterun, like a lady whispering to children or something?
Not that I've seen.
What? There's a whole quest about it.
Not that I've seen.
Oh.
I think you have to do some prerequisite quests first.
Maybe. It's a good quest. I recommend it because it's about what an evil little kid the Jarl's son is.
Oh. Well, why don't you tell me about it after I'm done telling my story, Johnny?
Sure.
So,
I didn't finish this quest, so I don't know how it ends.
Oh. So, after doing a whole bunch of, fort takeovers, I get promoted to Legate, and they're like, hey, it's time to go get that Winterhold. So I went there, I fought my way through Winterhold, all the way to Ulfric's throne room. You barge in there with General Tullius. You do have to fight Ulfric and his sidekick. And then Ulfric, he is down on one knee. And Tullius is like, I'm heckin' gonna kill you now. And Ulfric's like, why don't you let the Dragonborn kill me? Because it will make for a better song. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And General Tullius gave me his sword. I'm like, I don't want to use my sword because I think it would be super poetic if I take care of Ulfric the way he took care of the last High King. So I did shout him into ash with my powerful thume.
I don't have a thume that good. Not enough to turn someone to ash.
You gotta talk to Parthenax. You gotta be like, hey Parthenax, teach me more about unrelenting force. And he'll be like, oh, well, did you know that your force can be so unrelenting that you can turn someone into ash? And you're like, no, I did not know that. And then he will teach you how to do it. Easy peasy.
I gotta do that. I didn't kill Parthenax, spoiler alert, so he's part of the ending.
Jim?
Yes.
You killed that Parthenax?
No way.
Oh, good. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. I did stop the Civil War and take care of all of the terrible racist Stormcloaks. Good riddance.
Wow, so you're
is one side like I find like all this stuff really boring, so I just kind of like doze off whenever they talk about this conflict. But is one side set up to be the good side and one side set up to be bad? It's pretty neutral.
Yeah, it's pretty neutral.
Or they're both bad, or
because the Imperials are like murdering people for worshiping Talos, which is like the native religion of this area, and the Stormcloaks want it to be Nords for Skyrim for Nords only, and are like murdering. Like if you go to that one winter hole, they're just awful to non-Nords, especially visible minorities.
Oh, that's what's going on there. Okay.
They make all the Dark Elves live in one particular area that doesn't get any support or funding, and they make the Aragonians live outside the city, as well as the Khajiit.
The Khajiit, yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Man, those Nords suck.
That's what I think too. But it really comes down to like, what's your personal morality? Do you think it's better to not have some central government telling people what to do, or do you think it's better not to be racist?
I was talking with Vanessa about doing a third option for this, where I just like snuck into their houses and murdered the two leaders as they slept. But Vanessa's like, no, they're like primary quest givers, so you can't actually kill them.
It's
and
true.
Just do it that way.
So that's interesting. So like, if I wanted to kill, is it like the Jarl of Whiterun or whatever? Like I would not be able to kill him.
I'm not sure about him, but you can't just go around killing Ulfric whenever you want to. It has to be within the confines of this quest, the battle.
Oh, wow, interesting. Cool.
Is it? Or would it be cooler to have more options?
I like the more options thing. I do think that's one thing. What's it called? Outer Worlds did better, where you could kill pretty much any quest giver at any time, and it had it had paths where it would still work with the story in spite of who you blew up. But also that means that you don't see a lot of characters until the end, except like behind bulletproof glass.
That's true.
Is that game underrated?
People, because it's really short, but I don't mind that. It just, it doesn't quite have enough content compared to like New Vegas or something.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot more to do. I think it had potential. I'd love to see a second one, and they are making a second one, so wish granted. I think with more time and money, it would be better.
Yeah, me too.
Would be better if it had let me smooch that vicar, but it didn't.
It doesn't?
FYI, guys, there's a really big storm that's rolling through, and it's knocking people's power out. So,
goodness gracious, let's get a move on.
Goodness gracious, indeed. So, Battle of Whiterun, Battle of Winterhold, Vanessa killed Ulfric and disintegrated him with her shout. I don't feel comfortable trying to get Jim for us to test that on Jim and see if we can disintegrate him by shouting at him enough, because there's a lot of people in my house right now, and that would be weird.
Yeah, if he survived the nagging I suscepted him to earlier this week, I don't think I can disintegrate him.
All right, let's talk about the next main quest. Alduin's Doom. And I can't tell you any more about Spooky Child, because that's a quest that I saved. I wanted to finish up later, because I was like, I got to finish this main story now. No more side quests. Although I started this whole quest line and then realized I wasn't prepared. So I did have to go back and make sure that I got all the potions I need, and I leveled up my light armor and one-handed and bow skills, and I did some training and stuff. So I in the end, like at first, my first run through this ending, I kept dying. My second run, I did a lot better. So, step 1 for Alduin's Doom, part 3, The Fallen. Vanessa's here to tell us about preparing a trap for Odahviing.
If you'll recall, Parthenax told us that only one dragon knows where Alduin went, and that is Odahviing. So in order to get Odahviing to give up his secrets, we prepare a trap at Dragonhold, which is, of course, a place that holds dragons. It's a big old dragon kitty kennel.
Kitty kennel?
Well,
Yeah.
it's more like the things that you put a cat or dog head into at those professional bathing places.
Yeah, or like a cattle chute where they lock the cattle in the chute with the thing that goes around their head. Have you guys seen that?
No.
Like
No.
when they're moving cattle through chutes, when you need to stop them to like tag their ears and stuff, you stop them and then this little thing comes out and holds their head in place.
Wow, you really are from Texas.
I used
he's from
to I used
Kansas.
to work cattle when I was a young man on a farm.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's amazing. Did you use one of those No Country for Old Men's?
No, I didn't murder them. I removed their testicles and tagged their ears.
Wow. Some people would say that's a fate worse than death. Well, on that note.
So yeah, it was like that.
Yeah,
And you have to-
well, it doesn't. Once again, the game doesn't tell you what to do explicitly. So if you haven't been paying attention, you might be trying to. So you call him down with that dragon's name ability you got the other day because you learned his name, and you might forget that you have to like lead him to the back of the hall because the game doesn't really tell you that.
And then what happens in that case, John?
Well, he's invincible.
Oh.
So he will just, he's very deadly too. So if you don't do that fast, he will keep killing you over and over until someone on your chat stream's like, oh, you're supposed to drag him to the back of the hall.
Fascinating.
I guess I wasn't paying enough attention.
Well, in my experience with bringing him down, the Jarl is there and he is shouting this while the battle goes on. He says things like, remember, don't kill it. We're trying to catch it. Wait till it's on the ground, then bring it to the back of the hall.
Oh,
what's
he
the-
says a lot of boring things in that stupid voice of his. So who's going to listen to what he says?
Well, not you, apparently.
So what's the strategy here? You use Dragon Rend to get him to land, and then I don't remember, how do you get him back to
He
the
just
back of the
follows
thing?
you. If he lands,
Oh, he just follows
yeah.
you. Okay.
So you just have to lure him back to the other side of this giant, like, airplane hangar style.
Yeah,
room.
that's what that is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what'd you guys do with old Odahviing when he landed? You have a couple different options, right?
Well, you chat him up.
Mhm.
You can sort of threaten him. You can be nice to him.
I was nice to him, and I let him out of his dragon collar thing.
Mhm.
I didn't let him out right away, and then the mage who lives in Whiterun, Farengar,
Yeah, I love this part.
he did come to see the dragon, and he comes and talks to the dragon, and he's like, "Oh my god, this is such a huge honor for me. I'm a huge dragon stan. I love dragons, and so you're not gonna mind if I do just like one or two little experiments on you, are you?" And the dragon's like, what? He goes, "Oh, you're never gonna miss a couple scales or a little bit of blood, and I'm just gonna come around here." So he goes around to the side of the dragon to start his experiments, and the dragon does then roar and blast a big shoot of fire all over the place, and Farengar runs away.
I assumed that he went to the back of the dragon, if you know what I mean. Like he was
did
doing some
No.
downtown
Johnny.
inspections.
Like some bad dragon kind of stuff.
Oh.
And the dragon did not consent to it and was real mad about it.
Yeah, Farengar's like, I really need a mold for my new product, for my service here in Skyrim called Bad Dragon.
There's another shop. There's another shop that has a similar product. Maybe we could get them. I gotta find their name.
But it looks like Bad Dragon's still a thing.
Yeah, no, they are still a thing, but they just haven't been answering our messages. So they have a competitor. We could always try courting them.
I don't know. Feels like such a betrayal.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm not just looking for any advertisement on this show. I want products that I trust.
We won't settle for any fantasy dongs on here, John.
Okay.
We're a Bad Dragon family. No knockoffs in this house.
We want non-porous Bad Dragon silicone products.
Yeah.
So I did do a bunch what I found is the best strategy if you are needing to power up is to go do a dwarf area so you can get lots of soul gems. Because you'll find that you can't extract souls very well except from the Falmer, but everything else will pretty much resist your soul draw. But you can get tons of the gems because every single one of those dwarven robots is full of them. So I met up with this lady, and she's like, "Yeah, you're after the treasure here." And I'm like, "What treasure?" And she's like, "You know, the one I died." Because she was a ghost. I should probably mention she is a ghost. You know,
oh
is
no!
a ghost.
Did you know she was a ghost?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's like glowing and stuff and ethereal. And she's like, "Oh, well, there's my body. As you can see, it didn't work out great for me." And then she's like, tries to talk you through doing all these puzzles and stuff. It was a really good dungeon. A+ dungeon. I recommend it. It's near the southwestern orc stronghold. I had a lot of fun. It's not the one where there's another dwarf one I did that was like the, lexicon, returning the lexicon.
Mm-hmm.
That one's really fun too because there's a series of ghosts you definitely know are ghosts going through and stealing the lexicon. You see them die one by one like a ghost ship.
Ooh.
Oh, speaking of which, Jim, have you seen a movie? It's another boat-related horror film called Triangle because that looks like it would be my jam.
Yeah, no, I saw you post about it, and I never heard of it before, so I looked it up. It does look, something that's like right up my alley.
It does have Australians pretending to be American, which is always a problem.
I will say, though, too, I meant to mention this in my level up. I watched the movie Freaky, which is like
I want to see that so bad.
It's like a horror comedy that came out during the pandemic last year, so nobody saw it. But it's like the, Freaky Friday concept, but a teenage girl gets swapped with like a crazed, like Jason Voorhees type serial killer who's played by Vince Vaughn. And it's hilarious. Like there's even like her like confessing to her crush moment, but it's played by Vince Vaughn opposite like a teenage boy, and it's so funny. I thought it was great.
I've heard it is quite fun.
It is. It's super fun. You should definitely check it out.
I saw a trailer for the new Chucky show.
What'd you think?
It looks neat. It looks like a Chucky show.
Sure, and I love hearing old Brad Dourif do his Chucky roar.
Yeah.
Love that.
In a couple minutes. Yeah.
Lots of good spooky stuff coming out. Happy Halloween.
Yeah. Just like Netflix is Hypnotic, a film with my name in the credits, so I will not talk any more about it except that it has Kate Siegel from Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
And so did you do any other quests before jumping on the back of Oda and going for a little flight?
I did not. He takes you right to Skuldolphin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "I will show you the world."
Shiny, I think these
shimmering,
animations,
splendid.
These like animations of anytime a character has to actually interact with something else in the third person, like when your player character does, it looks fucking terrible. Like these animations of your character like jumping up and like flipping and jumping on the dragon's head looks so bad.
Tell me, Rimjob, when did you last let your heart decide? Or Presto, depending on who we're talking to. Did you enjoy flying? I mean, Jim and I had already flown on the back of a dragon in the DLC, so it was kind of a letdown.
That's true. It doesn't look any better on the DLC either. Like these animations just look kind of janky, I think.
Yeah, sometimes this game looks great. I also have that graphics mod that sort of tightens up the graphics like one of those commercials, but it really does make the game look a little bit better. And but then you get things like this sequence where it's like, oh yeah, this is a 2011 game, and it's a 2011 game with that specific Bethesda engine, which doesn't allow super great animation. Like compared to even stuff in Lost Odyssey, it doesn't have that motion captured look.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the differentiator. That mocap stuff just adds a whole like other dimension of fluidity to stuff.
When it's done well, it looks really good. Yeah. So you jump on the back of Odahviing, and everyone in what's the name of this? The Dragon's Reach is like, when you're like, oh, let him out, we're gonna fly on him. They're like, you shouldn't do that. And you're like, yeah, it'll be fine.
Like, we went through all this trouble to get this dragon, and now you're just gonna immediately let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, he said I could trust him.
Yeah. I sort of had more of a back and forth with him, where I was like, I'm not gonna let you out until I kill Parthenax. And then he's like, well, joke's on you. You can't kill Parthenax unless you get to his place where you can only get to on a dragon. And I know where
Alduin?
it is. Sorry, yes, Alduin. I would never kill Parthenax. I apologize. So I really had no choice but to let him out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so time to hop on this dragon and ride it straight to the World Eaters. Eyrie?
Is it like his house? Eyrie? The World Eaters Eyrie? What's an Eyrie?
It's like a roost, I think. A sort of like owl roost of some sort. Let's look it up. This is the part on the show where we look something up.
It's a large nest of a bird of prey, especially an eagle, typically built high in a tree or on a cliff.
Oh, all right. So I guess this is his nest of sorts. We're told that this is where he has mustered the very last of his forces. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty tough here.
I loved every time I got shouted at by a Drauger. I think that's so fun.
Yeah.
I was just mad I couldn't bring my new husband to fight with me.
Grunk has a new husband?
Yeah, Gorbash.
Oh, I didn't realize that you'd actually tied the knot.
I did it offline. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. You don't have to invite me to your wedding if you don't want to. It's fine.
Why are you crying?
We are at the Eyrie. There is the aforementioned Drauger, who are very strong, and they can Fusroda you.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a couple dragons that pop out to attack you here.
2 dragons at the same time.
Whoa. You hear that, Bad Dragon? Get on it.
Time.
And then there's a temple, which I only learned from doing these notes is called Skuldolphin Temple.
Skuldolphin is what they call it.
All right, Skuldolphin.
That's the name of his Eyrie.
Yeah.
Skuldolphin.
Oh, okay.
And do you think when Jibs alluringly said 2 dragons, it reminded me of that commercial Matt likes to bring up about twins? That beer commercial?
Yeah.
Twin dragons. Oh, man. They should make a thing about double dragons.
Double dragon.
Bad Dragon should have a double-headed dildo called Double Dragons.
Don't say dildo. This is a family show. So, moving on. We get one last puzzle here. Our favorite puzzle, whale, snake, or bird.
This one took me a minute.
Why did you find this one difficult?
Me too,
because like when you rotate it, you know it's rotated to the right spot because there's something on the floor that like displays the right side of the stone.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see the thing on the floor, and I was trying to get them to match in different ways, and it just wasn't working. And then I saw the thing on the floor, and I was like, oh, it's like a kindergarten puzzle, and I've spent
I
like
never
20
saw the
minutes
thing
trying
on
to do
the
this.
floor.
Yeah.
No, there's like a little triangle that tells you.
Yes, yeah, a little marker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I failed the kindergarten puzzle.
You failed the what?
The kindergarten puzzle, he said.
Oh.
This is
hard to see.
Yeah, this is another double dragon because there's actually two solutions to this puzzle. There are two doors. I think a bird door and a snake door. And
Well, that's puzzle 2, because puzzle 1 is just a regular one.
oh,
And
is
then
there
puzzle 2
two
is the
of
one
them?
where puzzle 2 is the one where you have to like angle them out to the side to face
Yeah.
the other ones.
Okay, puzzle 2 was the one that I was talking about, because like I didn't know what way that the stone had to face, and so but you know by looking at the little notch on the floor.
And then the center one either has to be snake door or eagle door.
Yeah.
And
So it knows
one
which
has
gate
a
to open.
treasure and one is the exit.
I appreciate that they threw that in there at the end, since this is the one puzzle that has been with us through this
Yeah.
whole game. And then we fight our way to the very tippy top of this temple, and there we see the dragon priest, Nocturne. Y'all seen a dragon priest before in your playthrough?
Yeah. The first time I played Skyrim, I went through and defeated all the dragon priests and collected all their masks.
I have a special cabinet for dragon priest masks in my home that I built.
Oh, nice.
Where do you find the dragon priests?
They're in the big. What would you call those? Where those guys, the big crypts?
Mm-hmm. The
Cairn?
ones, the big Karens. The ones that you use the dragon claw.
The big Karens.
The big Karens.
Did you say big Karens?
The big Karens. They're in the Karens.
Yeah, they're in those places with the word walls.
And they're like, this isn't what I ordered, and I know there's a big lineup, but I just really need you to take care of your mistake right now.
Excuse me, I know I don't have the receipt and the tags are off, but I want to return this dress, and you have to accept it. So this dragon priest has stuck his staff right in the ground and opened up a big ol' swirling portal. I spent a couple minutes trying to get the staff or interact with the staff or activate
So
it
did I.
in some way. And that's not what you do. You just have to throw yourself into this swirling abyss.
Now,
I was reading on the wiki today that you can, if you do it at the right time, you can do a whirlwind sprint and just fly right past this guy and into Sovngarde, which I thought would have been really cool to try.
That's
I wish
pretty
I would have
funny.
done that. Yeah.
I did. So you know how Jim was saying this is the Karens have wonder walls. There was a wonder wall in this one, and it did teach me storm.
It was right here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and storm is great.
What's the point of Storm?
Well, it fries toads just like everything else. But it summons. Basically, it's a AOE attack. I don't know if you'd want to do this if there's any good NPCs around.
It
Because-
does hit good NPCs.
Yeah, I think it's a alone time spell where you're in an outdoors place with lots of enemies, like this particular situation where you can just call down lots and lots of lightning and all their health just starts draining. Like it kills almost everyone. You can kind of hide from it.
Mm-hmm. It's the same spell that Alduin uses when he calls down his meteors and things like that.
Except it's lightning and not meteors.
Correct. So finally we have entered the Nord afterlife of Sovngarde. It is pretty. It looks like Skyrim, except with a nebula kind of sky. And there's very fancy singing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a problem. there is this very dense mist everywhere, and you run into a Stormcloak soldier, and he's like, "Oh, nobody can get through the mist. We can see the Hall of Valor where we want to go and live out our afterlife, but we can't get through the valley because Alduin is in the mist, and he's just eaten up the souls of the dead that go through there." And he's like, "Can you get me through?" I told him I could. Turns out I couldn't. He did get eaten. Interestingly, if you have done as I did and killed Ulfric and his sidekick, Galmar Stonefist, they will also be wandering around in the mist.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and Ulfric will just be like, "I can't get through." And then Galmar is like, "Ugh, the Dragonborn. It's not enough that you, like, killed me. You have to come here and haunt me in my afterlife. You suck so much. Boo." But Ulfric is kind of cooler about it. I don't know. I
I think
think
that probably happens quite a bit in Sovngarde, considering how these Nords kill each other.
yeah, if you talk to some people in the Hall of Valor, they reference that their enemies who they killed on the field will come and kind of like just hang out with them for afterlife. So we make our way through the mist. You can also run into this guy named Svaknir, who's a bard, and if you did a Bard's College quest where you find all his verses, he'll be there, and he's also just like, I can't find my way through the mist, oh no. But we can, because it's not actually hard. It's a very small area, and there's even a big like hill that you can walk up and look around, like poke your head out, and then just walk to this hall. And there we meet Zun, the Nordic god of trials.
Wait, did you not use clear skies?
That's what I did. I did that too.
Oh, I didn't do that on my way to the hall.
Yeah, but it only clears it up for like a few seconds, and then you have to do it again, and then it's only for a few seconds.
Oh, interesting. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I could have saved that Stormcloak soldier. But I didn't, because Stormcloaks suck. So this guy, he's sort of like the Idris Elba of this place, I think. He's guarding...
He looks like Conan the Barbarian.
He does. But he's like guarding the Whalebone Bridge rather than a Rainbow Bridge. And he...
Oh!
He says to you, like, what right do you have to cross this bridge? And you get a whole bunch of options depending on what you did in the game. I told him by right of cleverness, because I am the Archmage of Winterhold College. And then he gave me this whole speech about how, like, oh yeah, in your time, people think mages suck, but the Nords here remember that mages are actually super cool. And I think it's really great that you did a lot of really good illusions, and now you're the Archmage and probably the best performing magician in Skyrim. And you're super cool. Do you remember what you told him, Jim?
I don't. I'm trying to find a list of all the options so I can remember what I said. I can't find it.
Johnny, do you remember?
I did. I invoted I invoted by the right of Nightfall or the Nightingale or whatever, like to go plunder the Hall of Sovngarde. Because
what did he say to that?
He's like, well, I know you think that this is a place for thieving, but remember to act with honor. And I pushed him off the bone bridge and called him a nerd. Because he did try to fight me.
So I did all the companion stuff. So my option was by right of glory. And you say, by right of glory, I lead the companions of Jorvaskr.
Ooh, fascinating.
Yeah.
I guess you always have the option to say birthright, essentially. Like, I'm the Dragonborn.
By right of birth. Yeah.
Which is super lame. Who would say that? Like, what kind of, like, Don Jr. bullshit is that?
Matt probably would.
Yeah, Matt probably would. Matt would be like, "Oh, it's my birthright to cross this bridge, and I don't
I
need."
thought you were saying Matt would say, "Oh, it's my birthday." Oh, well, happy birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday month, is it? Welcome.
Yes, by right of birthday, I'm the little birthday boy.
I don't know why he talks like that now instead of like a Norn, but
It's just Matt. But no matter what you say, you do have to fight this guy in a little round of not even fisticuffs. He straight up pulls out his weapon. And he's like, you think you're such a warrior? And I'm like, no, don't hit me. But he did. So I hit him back. And after a few rounds of trading blows, he's like, you are worthy. And that's when I remembered that Vikings suck and Valhalla sucks and this place sucks too.
Mhm.
I don't want to go to an afterlife where I fist fight people. I don't want to do that.
I thought the design of this whole place was pretty boring, if I'm gonna be honest. You go to like Nord Heaven and it looks just like everywhere else, basically.
It does. Except it's got a big old whalebone bridge, which is not practical. So it has its...
Do you think anyone's ever boned on the bone bridge?
I hope
Soon
so.
definitely has.
Yeah, that's true. I bet plenty of people get there and they're like, by right of body, my body is... you know.
I mean, yeah, he does have a bit of a himbo energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably gets a lot of bone bridge action.
Mm-hmm. Before you cross the bridge, you must face me. And then you must turn your back to me. And...
Oh. Fanfic time. Vanessa's fanfic corner.
Oh boy, here it comes. Zip watching Elcor. So we go across to this hall. The music swells. We're greeted by Ysgramor.
Ysgramor. Yeah, he was the leader of the companions.
Yeah.
He settled Skyrim.
Let the music play. Worries for another day. Chase the fears away.
Clap, clap.
Down in Sovngarde.
Yay! I've heard, Jim, that if you do all the companion quests, as you claim to have done, you can meet that guy here who was so concerned with not being a werewolf anymore.
Yeah, Codlack Whitemane is here as well.
Godlack.
I also met Olaf One Eye, who was a former Jarl of Whiterun, I think. And I met Jurgen Windcaller, who is the guy who first...
The Horn of Jurgen Windcaller.
That's right, that
guy.
And he's like, you have my horn. Oh, how I miss a tooting my little horn. He's the one who first established the Greybeards and the Way of the Voice.
Oh, that's right. Was he like hanging out in the hall?
Yeah, he's like hanging around there. I thought it was kind of cool that you see these people you've heard about.
He probably, how was he allowed to get into Nord Heaven?
Why wouldn't he?
Because he was like an old monk guy. Don't you have to die in battle or whatever?
Apparently not.
Oh, okay.
Well, he was a great warrior before he decided to
become
meditate.
A pacifist.
Yeah, remember they said like he got beat and he was like, how could I have been beaten? And then he thought about it for 30 years. And then he's like, oh, it's because I'm supposed to praise the gods and not fight.
That's right. You got it.
I did get it. I know everything. And then, depending on quests you did before you got here, you can run into a few different other people who you may have found reference to throughout Skyrim. and a whole bunch of generic NPCs called Hero of Sovngarde.
Can you kiss any of them?
You can't kiss any of them. They're all Nords because only Nords go to Nord Heaven. Again, it's super racist.
Doesn't seem like there are a lot of ladies.
There aren't a lot of ladies. That's part of why that guy gets so much action on the Whalebone Bridge. You know,
True.
Any port in the storm. Also, I think in the afterlife, everyone's bisexual. You know?
Yeah.
Like, that makes
Sure.
sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Who's to tell me I'm wrong? So,
Maybe you don't even want to have sex after you get into heaven.
well, that's what
You're
some
just
people
above
would have us
those
believe.
earthly impulses.
Yeah, it's very base, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
Lizard brain stuff.
Yeah. They're not above slapping the shit out of each other because they are having little battles with each other because that's what they want to do in the afterlife again. Super lame. Super bad. And they have a big old feast table. There's an item here called Roast Ox, which you can only find in Sovngarde.
Really?
Yep.
That's funny.
And then we find our 3 friends from the past, whose names are Gormlaith, Golden Hilt, Hakon One Eye.
Would you have remembered these names if
Feldar
you
the
didn't do the
Old.
notes?
Okay,
No.
okay. Let me see if for the last one. Let me see. Try to guide me to it. Fendar the Old.
That's very close.
Okay.
It's close.
Feldar the Old.
Even closer.
Feldan the Old.
Not as close.
Okay. Feldran.
Nope.
I don't know if we can do hot or cold because there's infinite
Yeah, that's true.
combinations.
Think of a hooved animal you would find gently traipsing through the forest.
Feldgoat.
That is so close, but not quite it. And I'm sorry, but that was your last guess.
Oh no.
So this is time for Vanessa's apology corner because I had claimed that the old guy was the one missing an eye, and I was wrong. It was Hakon One Eye, of course, who's missing the eye.
Oh, Hakon One Eye.
And Fildir the Old, who had the Elder Scroll, was missing no eyes at all.
He was the old one, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He was okay.
When I first saw him, I had thought that he was missing an eye, and then he had 2 eyes here in Sovngarde, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. What a nice little detail. But then Hakon One Eye shows up, and he still only has 1 eye. And I was like,
Man, that kind of sucks.
Yeah,
when you go to
super
Nord
harsh.
Heaven, you don't get your eye back.
no. Maybe he was born that way, and that's how he's comfortable.
Oh yeah, or maybe that's just a clever name. He actually has 2 eyes.
Or you can control your appearance and he can look like whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they
Maybe One Eye is a reference to his dick.
Sir, come on.
it's
This
his
is an
eye.
adult. Was it an adult's night or after dark?
Yeah. It's where it's after dark.
Yeah.
You can't just change the rules because you don't like what I say.
It's I, Hakon, average member. Like, why would 1 eye be like something that you want to boast about?
It's true.
Now 2 eyes, that would be something.
Yeah.
Well, I said like the one-eyed snake is something that people in the 90s used to say when they would want to make a dick reference.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was referencing.
Well, I understand, but again, like, why the emphasis on the 1 eye? You would think like Hakon Sprinklerhead. That would be something to talk about.
Sprinklerhead.
Mm-hmm. So they're super excited to see you. They know who you are. They're like, we're really happy you're here. We're gonna go outside and shout at clouds together.
Does anyone in this game use the F word? Just out of curiosity. Do people curse in Skyrim? They say damn a lot, don't they?
I don't think there's any S's or F's.
No.
That's
or CS.
Interesting. That's interesting because, like, I don't think an F-bomb would feel out of place in this game.
It would make it too edgy. It'd be like, oh, this fucking dragonborn. Get out of here, you cocksucker. Jizz.
They say other things. They're like, Shore's blood.
No, that's right. They have their in-game exclamations.
They keep talking about how this is Shore's Hall and how they all really want to go out and fight Alduin, but Shore told them not to and close the gates. We never see Shore, and I don't understand who that is.
Seashore.
She Shore.
We never see Shore.
Well, Shore selling seashells by the seashore.
Seashore, seashells by the seashore. Let's see. Shore is the Nordic representation of the god Lorcan, who, after his creation of the mortal realm of Nirn, took sides with the forefathers of men in the Elfini Wars in the Dawn era. He is considered the husband of the goddess Kine, and by the ancient Nordic pantheon, and he's the embodiment of the afterlife in Sovngarde, and that's what we know about him. He used to be king of the gods, which has only been attributed to one other divinity, being Akatosh.
Do you want me to shove you in a locker? It's that you're just goading us on.
Let's see. Relationship to Nirn. Together with Akatosh, Shore is one of the two deities mentioned in the religious traditions in almost all.
God, this is so boring. Did I tell you I did that white file quest? That one's really fun. I like that one. Thumbs up about white file. That's the one where this guy's like, it's this amazing file that will let you produce limitless liquids from it, and it'll change the face of alchemy forever. And he's like, I'm almost dead. I can't go find it. I'm too old. And you're like, I'll get it for you. And you get it, but it's cracked. And he's like, ugh, I knew I shouldn't have sent you. Of course it would be cracked. He was very ungrateful.
Rude. You know who else has a white file that produces unlimited liquids? Hakon One Eye.
Oh, boom.
Jizz. That's a jizz joke.
Yep.
So do any of these fuckers in Sovngarde ever just pop out of the wall and be like, hey, there's a horse cock in my room or a donkey dick?
Cool it. Come on, Jim. Cool it.
Jim!
You can't make up different rules for me.
No.
This is adults only. We can say whatever the hell we want.
No. Look, you're ruining it for everyone else. And in fact, Jim, just step over here in the closet for a second. I want to talk to you. Jim, I work really hard on this podcast. I've had a long day. I bit my tongue. It was inflamed by my spicy tuna cake. I'm just trying to get through this recording so I can suck on another ice cube and go to bed. And I don't need you coming in here with your funny jokes, making it all about you, trying to disrupt it and ruin it for everyone. So we're going to go back out there and you just shut up and listen, okay?
All right. I don't want anyone to have the worst day at their job.
Now they're just completely redoing an I Think You Could Leave sketch.
And I hate that show.
I know. When you kept going with it, I was like, is she actually seen what
I think she
talking
has.
about? Yeah.
Good job, Vanessa. Or she just memorized it from context clues of us talking about it all the time.
Yeah, you guys talk about it all the time, and you quote it all the time, and you've quoted every single line from it, and as everyone knows, I have an exceptional memory. So
Wait.
now it's in my head
You do?
forever.
Says the person that couldn't remember Hakon One Eye's eye situation.
Which one's got the one eye? Is it the guy named One Eye? No, it must be Feldendir the Old.
Well, it made sense because he read the Elder Scroll and.
Oh yeah, because we did talk about like if you wanted to avoid blindness when reading the Elder Scroll, just keep one eye open so only one eye sees it. Yeah.
Clutching your pillow tight.
Yeah. Right.
So they're like, let's do it. Let's all do it. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be crazy if we all just got together and like fought Alduin? Wouldn't that be crazy?
I was 100% embarrassed at how long it took me to remember that I have to use Dragon Rend on Alduin to do any damage to him at all.
No.
Because when he's in the air, he's invincible. This took me a long time. I was like, why am I not doing anything?
I will say that Vanessa's thing of people shouting at you to use Dragon Rend or whatever does happen again here. Where,
oh, does it?
Yeah, Gormlaith is like, bring it down with Dragon Rend. Use Dragon Rend. You should probably cast Dragon Rend. That was Gormley the sneering.
I liked it. So yeah, first we shout to...
Sounded like your Ray Romano impression.
My brother's tall.
First we shout to clear the skies. We have to do it like 4 times. It's super irritating.
Yeah, the like toggling between these shouts, like, yikes.
That was some real Vagrant Story level stuff.
Yeah.
Especially like because there's no quick the game should really map different builds to D-pad. So you'd be like, now it's my archer build, and now it's my magic build, and now it's my warrior build.
Oh yeah.
But no. You know what game does do that? Mass Effect Andromeda. Because it
Wow.
had pretty good combat.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we play that on this show.
I think we might, I don't know. I feel like coming back to it 10 years later, you're going to be like, it's not as bad as I thought it was. It was okay. That's my guess.
I wish I
Maybe.
could have played that game in the pre-patch heyday when all the facial animations were just like all over the screen.
It was pretty great.
Yeah.
So we clear the clouds. Alduin comes. We shout him down. How did you defeat the World Eater?
I used my death ray. And after 20 minutes of trying to figure out why I wasn't doing any damage, once I got him down, I shot him with my death ray.
I guzzled a bunch of one-handed potions and then just slammed into him with my dragon killer sword. And he went down very quickly. I think it took 2 times of knocking him out of the air with Dragon Rend. And then, yeah, just slashy, slashy, slashy. And then he goes, a kabloom. And what was great is there's a bunch of like, what are those Drauger scourges and stuff. And as soon as I defeated defeated Alduin, one just like lay down on him like he was leaning back on Alduin's body. It was so fun.
I didn't
Like he
see
was
any
lounging.
Drauger.
I thought there was Drauger. Maybe it was the other dragon. You're right. That was one of the dragons outside. My mistake. It was back in Skolvathun.
I used my double-handed lightning spell that I learned once I maxed out my destruction magic. Seemed appropriate.
Watching you cast that spell is actually pretty neat.
They are pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
The only thing about them is it takes like 5 seconds of animation to cast. But,
yeah, those animations are funny too, I think.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
So he's dead. Our 3 friends from the past rejoice. Bridge guy comes and he gives us a speech. He's like, you Dragonborn have finally defeated Alduin. How do you feel? And I was like, is he really dead? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he'll return at the end of time to do his job and eat everything like a Langolier. But for now, he's gone. And Dragonborn, how shall history remember you? As a great hero? Or as a sinister villain? Or perhaps you'll just fade from memory? But you'll always be welcome here in Sovngarde. And I'm like, great, I'm never coming back here. I'm gonna find one of those Daedra. I'm gonna go live with Hermaeus Mora in his library. And
cuddled up with those tentacles, like just big pillows around you.
Cuddled up in those nice tentacles with my friends the Seekers, and I'm gonna read. That's my afterlife, baby. And then we are transported back to Skyrim, but not back to the Eyrie. No. Who remembers where we emerge? Jim!
Is it at the top of a mountain?
It is at the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
Not just
With
any
those
mountain.
snow-covered hills.
Yeah, it's the top of the throat of the world.
Oh, why do you come back here?
Throat of the world.
I do not know.
Neither. You talked to Parthenax too, and he's like, I can't congratulate you because I kind of liked Alduin a little bit, but also congratulations.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting because it's optional that he's there because you might have already murdered Parthenax, and he's like, so I'm gonna go recruit a whole army of dragons and lead them with my Thum. And then he leaves, and then Odovin comes up and is like, yeah, I don't know about that guy. That guy sucks. Do you know that guy sucks? And I don't think it's going to be good, but I don't think everyone's going to go for his Thum because he's kind of got an awful Thum. It's really flat, and he thinks he's one of those people that will be like, oh no, I'm a great singer, and then back you into a corner and sing just super loud at you. That's what Parthenax is like.
That
and also
sounds like my nightmare to be cornered into a serenade.
There were a bunch of other dragons there at first as well, and they all...
It takes so long waiting for them to leave. You
Yeah.
have to wait for all of them to leave.
They all shout at you. They're all like, Dovahkiin!
they could have played credits in the corner or something.
Yeah.
This seems like 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
And then, Parthenax goes off to recruit some dragons, and he's like, you might still see some dragons around that suck, and you have to kill them. Goodbye.
Well, I kind of don't think Parthenax is a good guy anymore. He did
Doesn't
seem a
sound
little
like one.
ominous about the...
He did.
Yeah. And Odovine sure doesn't think he's going to be cool.
Yeah, I mean, was Parthenax's plan to teach humans the Thum so he could overthrow Alduin and become king of the dragons himself?
I think it might have
Kind
been.
of seemed like that to me, yeah.
He did say that he, if you talk to him about how the blades want to kill him, he's like, yeah, I wouldn't trust me either because dragons are notoriously self-centered and craving power, but I swear I'm different now. Anyway, I'm going to go crave power and become the most powerful dragon. Well, I guess you could always kill it. I remember my first playthrough, I did kill Parthenax, so I did get the blades help for they sort of help prepare for the end game thing, I believe. It was a whole different scenario.
Yeah, I think if you kill Parthenax, then you can also recruit more blades. Have a whole army of blades at some point. But I don't know what they do.
Well, they go to a gorilla dentist because the diamond inside their car's teeth keeps growing, and you have a toothache, and yeah.
Bones are their money.
What?
Bones are their money.
And bones are their money. I was referencing a Bjork video. Thank you very much. But that was a great reference. What a good sketch. That is probably my favorite sketch in the first season.
Yeah.
Because it's always what I thought whenever those scenes happen is how do they know what to play?
I know.
Anyway, sorry, friends. I think you should leave obsessed tonight. I don't know why.
Because Matt's not here to reel us in.
Mm-hmm.
Matt
That's
is
true.
a fisher of men, and we are the men.
I
and
thought
he
that was
fishes
me.
us. What? Oh,
More like catfisher of men.
you would never.
Nah, why would I? I've got plenty of grade A Canadian beef as is.
And that's it. That's the end of Skyrim, except not at
Yeah.
all, because there's no end.
Yeah, I went
What
back to High Hrothgar, and what's his face? Ernie Sanders. Alduin?
No, does it have
Christopher Plummer.
Angier?
Yeah, he's like, sure. He's like, oh, I see by your face that you have been to the land of gods and you've done a great thing. And, you brought all these people together and it's super great. What a good job. You're the bestest boy. What a good boy. So I have one more question for you folks.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to have a Animal House style end card montage showing the fates of all your characters, what would it be? Presto Kazam!
Presto Kazam enjoyed her retirement after killing Alduin in Branson, Skyrim, where she performed her one-woman magic act 2 times a night, except on Mondays. Rimjob!
I'll say Rimjob retired as the true mind freak and lived the rest of his career as a seductive vampire, freaking people's minds in a way that Presto Kazam was always jealous of. What about Grunk?
Grunk, meanwhile, was found beheaded and skewered at a family reunion where he did meet with the families of all his former husbands, and they say that he tripped and fell, thus skewering his body and removing his head. No one has investigated this claim further.
R.I.P. Grunk. Good night, sweet prince.
Well, guys, what'd you think of Skyrim? Let's do the thumbs up, thumbs down. Is it a recommend?
Wait, I think
are you squarely against
there
it
you
or
go.
roundly for it?
We do have words associated with this.
Yeah, and those words are, what did you think of it? Are you thumbs up, thumbs down? Are you...
How many stars would you give?
How many stars would you give? Are you roundly for or squarely against Skyrim?
Roundly 4. How can you not like Skyrim?
What?
I said, how can you not like Skyrim?
Oh,
Skyrim's
are you talking to
fun.
me or just is that a question in general?
That's a hypothetical.
Okay.
Skyrim is a good game. I am roundly for Skyrim. What about you? What do you think, John?
I am very roundly for Skyrim. I think that the mainline quest sucks. Like, I was literally bored during the 10-minute cutscene at the end, but then I did so many good side quests, like the returning the lexicon quest or the ghost lady who died wanting me to get all these dwarf parts side quest or getting I did return all the blood to that crazy magician from the Mages Guild.
So did I. Yeah, that was great.
And he did get his face sucked off by Hermaeus Mora, which is
Yeah.
incredible. And the White File quest is so good. Yeah, so side quests are really great. But this happens with a lot of Bethesda games, that the side quests are amazing, but the main quest kind of stinks. And I think that New Vegas works, even though it's not a Bethesda game. It's, similar in the same engine and all that, because it has a really, really good main quest. And that's the one thing these games lack. But overall, roundly 4, you can spend hundreds of hours having goofy fun. It's kind of broken, but that's part of it. And I also like at the end, you get so many ridiculously overpowered abilities, which sound great. And now you can really stomp on everyone throughout Skyrim. What about you, Vanessa? Roundly 4 or squarely against Skyrim?
I am roundly for Skyrim. I enjoyed it even more than I thought I would. Because I'd played this game so often, I didn't really think it had all that much left to offer me. But I was wrong. I had a lot of fun with this playthrough, and I'm sorry that it's over.
Good
I
game.
think I might actually keep on playing, which is something I say I'll do and never do, but I really think I might do this time.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. I still want to play it. I didn't do any of the Dark Brotherhood stuff because it didn't seem appropriate for Presto Kazam, but I do love those quests. So now that my canonical journey is over, I can just like muck around and do whatever I feel like. And I agree that the best parts of Skyrim are the surprising side quest moments. Like when I had the drinking contest and woke up on the other side of the map in a city I'd never been in before. That was fantastic. Jim, what was your favorite
game.
Skyrim moment?
Oh man. I will say the when I did the like vampire DLC, the shock of seeing your character turn in, because like the design for this vampire lord is so much cooler than like any other design in the game for an enemy. He's like this big winged gargoyle monster, and it goes into third person and he floats around. I think that was such a big surprise when that happened. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta do this entire thing. So, yeah, that was my favorite Skyrim moment.
Thank you.
What about you, John?
Oh,
My favorite Skyrim moment, I think, was outside of the murder mystery. I think it was when I did kill my husband, and then Lydia did come down the stairs and say, "We're gonna find whoever did this."
Yeah, that was really funny.
I love the just weird procedural stuff that can happen
Mm-hmm.
in this game, or how like you can rob someone and then immediately talk to them after, and they're like, "Oh, well, thanks, and come shop at my store." You know, they just kind of forget everything. Procedural junk is always fun.
Jim, did you ever take a spouse in Skyrim?
I did not.
No. I don't have anything to say about that.
Well, like we said at the top of the show, next time on Square Roots, we're going to be playing Tales of Vesperia, which I think John, have you played Tales of Vesperia before?
Yeah, I played maybe 20 hours, so like I think a third of it or something.
So Vanessa and I are the baby fresh eyes with this
Did
one.
someone say little baby fresh eyes?
Jim, I don't know if I've heard you do your little baby fresh eyes voice before.
Oh man, I got to work on that. Next week I'll debut my
Jim's a little
baby
baby
fresh eyes voice.
fresh eyes. He's gotta be like,
Did Jim promise to do little baby fresh eyes next time?
Oh yeah, it'll be the
just
best.
think
baby
Jennifer
fresh eyes.
Tilly when you're doing your little baby fresh eyes voice.
Jennifer clearly not a little baby, only little baby fresh eyes, you little baby.
Oh my God.
Jennifer Tilly sounds like a sexy baby.
Every second of listening to Vanessa's baby fresh eyes voice is an eternity in hell.
Little baby fresh eyes just wants to be a little baby friend.
Aw, how could you say no to those adorable giant fresh eyes?
Look at my giant big fresh eyes. Look at my chubby baby eyes. Little baby can't despise. I'm cute little baby fresh eyes.
Avidol crackers in my soup.
Next time on Square Roots, we are going to begin playing Tales of Vesperia, and we'll play for the first chunker through the departure from the first city. Of the
Well, I
game.
think there's a fort that's a good...
Oh
like,
yeah,
end point.
that would be Died on Hold.
Yeah. So at the end of that stuff's good.
The end of Died on Hold.
Yeah, it's not very long.
Okay, sounds good.
Like, yeah, you get there and some stuff happens. After that stuff happens, I think there might be more after that. So yeah, just get there. There's a cutscene. That's where you play to.
After the stuff at Died on Hold.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any emails? I
Yeah.
think we got one, right?
We
Ooh.
did get an email.
Is that drunk Vanessa or baby fresh eyes reading it?
It is Tongue Vanessa who has bitten her
Oh,
tongue.
right. Right, yes. That's the first I'm hearing about this.
You're lying. This is an email from Stuart, aka Stu. Stu says, I'm a new listener to the podcast, which I randomly found while looking for another podcast. Wow, I'm glad you found us instead. As I had recently finished some games and was looking for other people's opinions. The games in question were Suikoden and Final Fantasy.
Sweeto
what were those games?
Suikoden. I'm currently going through your Final Fantasy, 5, 6, 7 playthrough, and I can confirm that I have no interest in Sailor Moon. I have, however, watched 9 seasons and 5 My Little Pony films, which I enjoyed with my daughter. This is one of those emails that references something that we said on the show. Listeners,
Those are really funny to me because, like, we probably mentioned that 5 years ago.
yeah.
Well, this is Final Fantasy VII, so it was like a year and a half ago. But yeah, I don't remember this at all.
I cannot remember what I said last week. Every week I write a last time on Square Roots, and it's a struggle. Like, it is not easy to remember what we talked about 1 week ago. Final Fantasy VII made me cry. It's the only game to do so, and I have such fond memories of this game. Do you have any plans to play through Suikoden 2?
Yeah.
Well, I think,
We talked about it.
Matt said we should mention this. Hey, friends, don't throw out that $5 a month membership for our Patreon, because next year is 2022. It's up to you. What does that mean?
2022, it's up to you.
It means all votes, every game, except for BioJanuary. Every single game we play, except for BioJanuary, will be chosen by our listeners. Aren't you excited? All votes all the time. Oops, all votes. Yeah, that's right.
Oops,
You better dust off that credit card and upgrade your pledge, because you're going to be voting on games left and right. You'll be voting on so many games you won't even know what to do. You'll be like, oh no, another Square Roots poll? I got to quit my job. But don't, because that's how you pay the Patreon.
I
And
will
family.
say,
I mean, feed your family. You don't pay your family. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. Do you?
So these votes, we've always said that they are votes for what game you play next. And by you, I mean us. And in that spirit, I don't know if I can come up with like 8 different games for 8 different polls. So can I just like grandfather in my losing game to the next poll? Is that allowed?
I mean, if we haven't played it, it's fair game.
And I think that some of them are going to be like themed to be like, this is a Euro game, this is an action RPG, this is a bad game, like, so we'll do like a one sort of terrible game poll maybe. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
That is very important because there are only so many JRPGs we can play in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get JRPG fatigue.
Yeah, so it's gonna be. We're gonna mix things up, and that'll help. I think that'll help Vanessa choose, because she'll have limits, so it can't be. She won't get choice paralysis. She'll be like, okay, what's a game I like that fits into these narrow parameters? What's a European RPG that's terrible? Two worlds.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines?
That is an American game.
Oh.
For America. Do you think European people would really have heard of Jenna Torturers?
I don't know. All I know is
Or
that...
Los Angeles.
That's a good point.
So yeah, look forward to 2022. It's up to you. A whole year, except for January, of choices. Now,
it's
we
called
were...
BioWary, not Bio-January.
That's what they call it in Canada.
That's what they call it. It's Canadian Thanksgiving. Give me a break.
Okay.
Nell Carter. Now, what do you think? I'm trying to think of whether or not it would be funny to do a vote for Bio January where it's all just one pick.
Well, that's
times.
what. Yeah, we actually joked about that in the group chat. I was like, wouldn't it be great if we said we're gonna do the whole year of votes, and the first vote is just all the same BioWare game?
I think that our fans put up with a lot. I feel like that's one step too far.
Yeah.
When it comes to like bilking them out of their their Patreon money that we're very grateful for.
Yeah.
I think that if it wasn't the first vote, it would be different.
Yeah.
Like if we had the tradition of doing it in March or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say no on that.
All right.
We could, if we really wanted to, just announce the BioWare game now. We know what's going to be.
What is it? I don't even know what it is.
Oh, well, then I refuse to announce it. I want Jim to live with the mystery.
Now, so I bring that up to answer the question that I bet I will put Suikoden 2 on at least one of the votes next year. So there is a chance we can play, but it's not up to us. It's 2022. It's up to you. Were there any other questions?
Were there any other questions?
We were right in the middle of that email. And
Yeah.
We just...
Well, he asked, do we want to play Suikoden 2?
There are no other questions.
Okay. Thanks for the nice email.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad you found our podcast.
Me too.
Well, another perk of being a patron is every week we like to pull out some random Patreon usernames and read them live on air. So this week, Vanessa's going to get us started. You never have the list ready when we introduce a segment.
I don't. I'm very busy while I record. I have to do a lot of different things, keep a lot of balls in the air, look at a lot of 3D tours for real estate that I'm never going to buy. It's difficult. This week, I would like to thank Tracy, Sean Walsh, Sexy Grandma's Boy Toy is Go to Paris, France, Grayson, It's hard to catch Mewtwo of D's nuts in your mouth, Eric Poirier, Matt Newland asks, do you want to see these? Keita Renee Prince Sifunces wants to make the world smooth.
Cifuentes?
Yeah,
Cifuentes?
Prince Cifuentes.
I'm sorry, I can't do names and also my tongue. Aaron Zelda 2 is underrated a little. What is Zelda 2? That's not a game.
Link's Adventure.
It has a subtitle, Aaron. Come on. Isaac Wright, Jameson, Citrus C, Breegirth, Summon, Vanessa's mom from Sovngarde, Butts on Parade, Ron, Jason Timms, still just nursing an arrow wound, Robert T, and Eric Pidgameni.
And I would like to thank Ian Frederick, Andy Best, Stephen Paget, Tracy the Board Queen, Ross Hartley, Adam H., Adam Zimmerman, Vanessa Fan, Ari Corpivara, Michael Crawford, Yrim, Alexander
Because
Jokic,
it's good.
Ward Childress, Wash in the Wind, Alex Dillard, Christian Go, Soy Soda Pop, David Shook, Angel, Knopford, Brian Pitt, and Vanessa's Gold Taco Bell PS5.
See, I'd like to thank Joseph, Justin Rash, Aaron Bachman. Burp. Stop the Shock. See Twitter hashtag for more info. Jake Dickerson, Witchcoon, Sean, William Westgard, Paul Bursch, Wawa Weewa, Rice Jenkins. I'm Commander Squall, and this is my favorite store in the garden. Dr. Fine, say everyone's name. Cameron Shoei, this is Commander Grunk. It's Grunk. And it's my favorite husband in Cyrodiil. Dylan Rowe, Mary, Queen of Scoffs, Hexagon, DJ Ethro, DP2099, Chief Hazard wants to hear Matt vape. Oh. Mikey Mucho, Matthew Casterline, Joshua Bennett, Matt's Bathroom Disaster.
Did you put that in there, Vanessa?
Maybe.
Cyril the Wolf, David Green, Metal Gear Solid 1 in 2021. We're trying, buddy. It might not happen. Jerry Schreffler and Nino Cooney. or bust. Unfortunately,
Ooh,
it's a bust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to send us an email to have read on the air, our email address is squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come join our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. I'm getting a little bit uncomfortable with recommending people use Facebook more. I don't know. It's a weird thing about it. Or you can find us on Twitter at Square Roots Pod.
Maybe if we set up a MySpace page.
I don't know.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our awesome Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links are in the show notes. And, oh yeah, that's it. That's Vanessa's part.
Yeah, if you want to hear more Square Roots and you're listening on Spotify, please check out our archive at squareroots.libsyn.com or on our Square Roots RSS feed.
All right. Well, for Square Roots, I am Jim Banks.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
And I'm little baby Fresh Eyes.
That
And
voice went through like
I'm Matt.
3 different...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, poor Matt. Still stuck on the toilet.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
All right.
Bye, boy.
Jizz. Sorry, I'm just updating the Patreons. I will be more engaged and tell better jokes in just a moment. Would you be okay if I grab a plate of Thanksgiving food and eat it? I'll be here in part of the conversation, but is it okay if you do the next bit?
Yes, but it's okay
Yeah,
if
go
I
ahead.
take a break to get an ice cube for my tongue.
Yeah, of course.
What's on the menu for Canadian Thanksgiving, by the way?
There is oven roasted turkey breast and some mashed potatoes, corn, gravy.
Cool.
Yeah. I'll go grab a plate. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take a short break too. Be back in a couple minutes.
I'll leave it recording now.
Ooh.
Hey. That's a nice looking plate. Is that ham on there? Yeah, it is.
Delicious.
What's under the ham? Oh, turkey.
Ham,
Nice.
turkey, mashed potatoes.
Oh, Johnny, it's such a sacrifice to be missing your Thanksgiving meal to record with us.
Oh, it's okay. But my roommates did want to shout out on the podcast, since I'm not eating at the table with them. So, thank you, Pete, and thank you, Ellen, for delicious foods.
Johnny, this Canadian Thanksgiving, I'm Canadian thankful for you.
Aww.
Me too. Thanks, buddy.
I'm Canadian thankful for Matt not being here so we can make fun of his tummy.
We
And
could
just
do
the
that if he
excessive
was
amount
here.
of pooping he did
Yeah.
today.
I would never make fun of Matt more when he's not here than I would to his face.
That's true.
Because I'm a good friend.